Senator Monday Okpebholo will be marking 100 days in office. But beyond that, who is interested in those numbers or in those days? It's about the impact of what he says he will do. He says he's going to make Edo State better. And he's made a lot of promises. There are those who believe that he's not the right man as they're challenging his mandate in the tribunal. And that will go in an interesting form and manner as that tribunal has been sitting in Abuja tonight. Let's take a look at what Okpebholo has been doing in the business of Edo State. I'm being joined tonight by Umar Kilo, who is a lawyer and the Secretary to the Government of Edo State. Is live for us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, SSG, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheung.
Almost 100 days.
Yes.
Your opponent don't think that the mandate belongs to Okpebholo. Well, is there pressure on your government to deliver?
No pressure at all. The governor, His Excellency Monday Okpebholo, knew from day one what he wanted to do, and he was fixed on doing those things. He's not under pressure. He's very confident that Edo people voted for him, and he's working tirelessly to work for Edo people and deliver on his mandate.
It does look to me like a man who wants to impress. And that those who believe that, oh, it's only a man whose mandate is not assured. He's just going to spend a few days before he's being taken away by court decisions. And there are those who believe that in the court, their real mandate will be validated. For a moment, how worried is your camp that this might go or not go in your way in the courtroom?
We are not worried at all. Like I said, the governor is very confident that this mandate belongs to him, and he's not worried about what is happening in the court. The lawyers are doing what they need to do. And if you have been following what's happening in the court, you would realize that there is no cause for alarm, because it is who alleges that must prove. And the evidence that has been presented so far is giving us that very strong confidence that the mandate that Edo people have given us is real, and we are giving them real results for that mandate. And you mentioned that he looks like a man who wants to impress. I think I have to say something about that. That is not the case. If you knew him before he even ran for governorship, you would know that he has always been like this. Years before he ever thought of going into politics, he was involved in community development, infrastructural development within Edo Central, where he comes from. And he's been doing that for years. The reason why I
asked you that question is that your opponent will say he wants to impress the people of Edo State as though he owns the shoes, and they say the shoe does not fit him, because they don't believe that he's the man who's given the job rightfully. And that he just wanted to show that he's got something. But according to them, he's got nothing.
Well, I think there is enough to show. Maybe if you come on Wednesday, the 100th day, you would find enough on ground. We invite you to Edo State. There is a lot to show.
All right.
So far, we have compiled over 100 policies, projects, programs to show Edo people and the world.
Let me take you up on a few issues. So you see, I see that administratively there are also some issues. There is a suspension of the Attorney General, and there are those who say, yeah, your camp is really disintegrating.
No, not at all. Rather, you would see it as a message or an indication that you have a new sheriff in town who means business and who is after accountability, transparency, and, giving what belongs to Edo people. And so I think that is the message. It's not about having any trouble in the camp. He has put together the right team, and he has sent a message across that he is a no-nonsense sheriff. And if there are allegations that needs to be clarified, he would take it seriously, and he would require officers who are involved to step aside for a while why the investigation takes place before they are either cleared or recalled.
Okay,
that's
so let's go into what Okpebholo says he is going to do. There are those who say he doesn't have any business being the governor, but let's see what his business has been since he got into office. Next week will be 100 days since he got into office, but I don't know where the tradition started from. Sometimes it's in American politics where these 100 days of fever and the pressure to want to hit the ground running. There are those who will say, politically speaking, he hired the son of one of the political godfathers in this, Adams Oshiomhole, commissioner for health, and he's not announced any other commissioner. That again drew the attention. What kind of politics is that?
Well, I have to redirect that. He was not the only commissioner appointed. The first day, there were 3 commissioners together with the SSG. He made these appointments very strategically. That is because from day one, he knew what he wanted to do. So certain strategic appointments were made in order to get the government running, and he hit the ground running. One of it was the Commissioner for Health, the Attorney General, and, you know, the Secretary to the State Government.
He was the only
Commissioner for Justice, right? Commissioner for Justice.
Yeah, but,
right?
but we do know that naturally that comes around almost at the same time the SSG, the spokesperson of the governor, is being appointed. But Commissioner for Health. Why not Commissioner for what?
Commissioner for Health, Commissioner for Justice, Commissioner for Finance. 3 commissioners.
Okay.
Yes. Right. So, and then...
Why Oshiomhole's son?
Oshiomhole's son is a
political
doctor.
payment?
No, not necessarily. I think you had the leader himself here who mentioned that he was never aware. I think the deputy governor mentioned that even the father was never aware, never spoke to the governor about it. So, Cyril is a medical doctor by training, internationally trained, so he's very qualified. So I'm not very sure that we need to follow it.
Doctor that could be commissioner for health.
No, he was also in the project, and he's very qualified.
Okay.
And so the governor made his decision.
So give us an understanding of some of these policies, and I take first and foremost the inquisition into what has happened in the past. So the governor said he wanted to know what has happened in the past, which has been touted as a simple witch hunt.
Not necessarily so, because if you followed the development, we did not have any smooth transition. So we came in practically flying blind, and the government had no idea of what the assets. But there was a
transition committee on both sides.
Yes, but the side of the outgoing government was not providing the necessary information. So it became stalled, and nothing really came out of that transition committee. So the governor thought it wise to set up an asset verification committee to have an idea of the entire assets, because we had so many conflicting information. What we thought belonged to the state, we were now being told did not belong to the state. And a lot of information were not adding up, so the governor decided to set up this asset verification committee to confirm what belongs to the state and what does not belong to the state. And it has been very revealing from the report submitted by the committee.
What did you find out?
We found out that the best way to describe it is that there was a lot of corporatization of what belongs to ordinary Edo people, in the sense that in the name of investment, consultants were brought in who were not Edo citizens to run the state and use that as a platform to fleece Edo people's common resource. And sometimes in the name of investing in projects, I'll give you an example, for example. You know, the Radisson Blu Hotel project. This is a project initiated by the state government. An SPV was formed under the Ministry of Finance. At the end of the day, they went to the capital market, raised about 17 billion, provided land worth over 2-point-something billion. So in total, this money constituted about 70.9% of the total cost of the project. And along the lines, a foreign investor came in to provide the balance, which was just about 20%. But towards the tail end of the administration, a month to handing over, a new company was formed. The state shares were transferred to that new company. And we're now told that Edo State now owns only 20% in Radisson Blu. That's really abracadabra. If you brought 80% of the fund, you now own 20% of the shares.
Have they been able to explain to you? Because what you see and what is also what happened could be two different
No
things.
explanation. Letters were written to this new company, Tilbury, that was formed around September of 2024, just a month to hand over, and they never responded. They never appeared before the
What
police.
would you say that Okpebholo has done in these 100 days? We see him go to schools, we see him go to roads that are under construction before he came into office, and the opposition is saying, why are you owning what has been on the ground? This is not your own initiative.
Not at all. If you followed what has been happening, you would discover that he is going to places where there is problem. For example, the very first day he was inaugurated, he went to Ramat flyover. It's a big problem. Edo people have been talking about it. Ramat bypass, it's a problem of gridlock. And he said, we will create a flyover here. And in a week or two, work started there. We went to classrooms. He went to classrooms to see schools, to see the state of a popular program by the last administration called Edo Best, and discovered that it was nothing but a scam because the infrastructures were dilapidated. The school infrastructures in Edo State is still where Comrade Adams Oshomole, left it. And so he undertook to reconstruct these schools and renovate them. And then for roads, he has initiated new roads, up to 13 new roads.
Which are these roads?
They are there.
Which are there?
For example, the flyover, for example, the Benin, the rehabilitation of the Benin-Auchi Road, the Ekpoma, the failed axis. I think it was always in the news. It was an eyesore for Edo State. And that is the place where the former governor used to put a big, big board. Please bear with us, this is federal road. But he said, Edo people, 90% of the users of this road are Edo people. Even if it's a federal road, we can engage with the federal government, reach an understanding, we do the road, and Edo people benefit. And that is what has happened.
How do you capture this project that are not appropriated for? Because you're just getting into your own forced budget. If this has not been in the initiative of the past government, how do you then begin a project that has not been appropriated for?
They were appropriate for. There was a supplementary budget that was passed immediately we came in. So it was prepared by the last administration, but they couldn't pass it because the House of Assembly didn't take it. So immediately we came in, they passed it. So we started working with that supplementary budget, and then we continued with the 2025 budget. So they were all appropriated for, and they all followed the normal procurement rules.
So there are those who say Okpebholo came into office and was complaining that even some police stations were in bad shape and he was going to fix the security apparatus in the state. But nothing, as of the time that he mentioned it, and now has been done in that respect.
In
the very first week, he said it, he made a noise about it. Oh, our police stations are this, and that's why crime. But almost 100 days later, nothing has been done.
Well, security is, you need a multifaceted approach to tackle security. It's not just about fixing police stations. By the way, there are actually projects fixing police stations among some of the projects that we have listed in our 100 days to show. But outside that, he has provided security vehicles, for confronting criminal gangs, kidnappers, and all that. In the last administration, what we had as security vehicles were rickety, fairly used Siennas. Now the governor procured brand new Toyota Hilux and also motorbikes, mini-power motorbikes.
Out of the security votes.
Of course. So these are going to be given to security agencies, all the security agencies. And then we are also setting up and validating the Edo State security network that was banned and later called back. And that has now been empowered to provide security
quickly,
for
because
people.
we need to close. He says that he initiated the Back to Farm initiative. He was talking about the education, and there are those who are already laughing in the opposition to say, look, Obaseki has taken education in Edo State to the level that Okpebholo may not be able to comprehend, because Obaseki, according to him, is coming from a private sector that understand how these matters. So when Okpebholo comes in and says, oh, he wants to take education to the next level, they started laughing. Just to wrap up, Back to Farm, the education initiative of Okpebholo. What are you exactly up to?
Back to Farm, I will give you numbers. Obaseki, the last budget he did was 5.9 billion for agriculture. But because we are following the federal government initiative, agriculture is a big deal now, The Okpebholo increased the agriculture budget from that to 70 billion. That's about
from 5 billion.
From 5.9. That's about 1,000% increase. That's indicative of what he intends to do with agriculture and food security. Now, talk of education. The whole concept of Edo Best was a scam. It was nothing but PR to access World Bank's 75 billion grant. That's the summary. If you want to see the facts, you come to Edo State, you see the facts on the ground. No infrastructure, no teachers, no personnel. Now Okpebholo is reviving that.
Because
that is
you
the
look at
facts
the
on the
ladder
ground.
in which your state has climbed over the last few years in education ranking in Nigeria, is that also a scam? The performance of your students in the state?
No, that is not the case. But when you don't have the teachers and the infrastructure, in schools in big local governments like Oredo and Okpebholo, you have no classrooms, no schools, no desk, no windows, no teachers. You buy a tab that needs power, no internet, and you say you are doing Edo Best. Edo Best was nothing but tabs that was displayed in 3 local governments when there are 18 local governments. Nothing happened in the interior.
Omar Kilo, the secretary to the state government of Edo State, is the state and the governor of the state are looking forward to the 100 days next week of Okpebholo and Elmo.
You are invited.
I'm always busy here. Thank you so much indeed for
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.